right, how's it going, everybody? Jason Levantia here from RTV Incorporated at realtourvision.com. I am being joined today by Jake Mulcahy from RTV. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Jason?
Pretty good, pretty good. Ready for spring. It is pretty cold here still, so it means it's a perfect time for us to go through some of BlueLaVa Media's settings today with you and really take a dive into the booking and scheduling system for those of you that want to know how we're doing things at BlueLaVa and how you might be able to get set up for spring success. I would like to add that not everybody's going to match exactly what we're doing at BlueLaVa. We've got 3 shooters, for example. I'm not a shooter myself. Cade is not a shooter himself. He's an operations admin, so we've got somebody working the phones and as the front person. So our settings are going to be a little bit different, but I'm going to explain why we do what we do today, and hopefully you can take that and run with it and set yourself up for success. So let's get started. The very first thing I'm going to point you to here is the settings area, and today we're going to be working down in here. So if you have not set up your calendar yet, that is obviously the very first thing you want to do. There are a couple preferences. You're going to just finish step 1, 2, and 3. We have help videos on all this, by the way, and there's not much here. At BlueLaVa Media, we like on our calendar, we like to see the photographer name first. So that means Caleb is going to be shooting here. It shows the photographer name first and then where they're shooting. You can flip that back here and show the client's name first. It's just a preference thing. That's back here. You set up your calendar. Custom form fields will be coming later. Guys, discounts, this is, I can't stress this enough. Jake and I, a while back, made an amazing video on discounts. If you're not utilizing discounts for your company, you really need to. This is a great way to really pack a punch with one of your office presentations and create a sense of urgency. You take a discount, you can make it last one day, expire that evening. Hey, everybody that goes right now and places an order, you're gonna save 30 bucks, you're gonna save 10%, 20%, whatever that may be. So watch our discount video. Discounts are a great way for you to also throw out there your congratulations on your new listing. Kate and I have been getting a lot of business at BlueLaVa, new business this year, just by sending the congratulations email out. Those of you that don't know what that is, you can go right into the Business Resource Center. You know, I brought this up before, and there's a congratulations email that I've written that we're using and getting success with at BlueLaVa, and you can too. It's a great way for you to go fishing every morning when you start your day. So get your discounts in line. You really can't do anything without your payments being set up. At BlueLaVa, we choose Stripe because it's got a very, very low transaction fee. Some important things to point out here. PayPal is I guess that's a transaction experience. The customer does not necessarily need a PayPal account, and they can pay with a credit card. Is that right, Jake? But if they have a PayPal account, it can go quicker?
Correct. But agents can't save their credit card to the system with PayPal.
Correct. So we don't use PayPal, plus the fees are astronomical. You do get lower fees with PayPal if you take out one of their loans, but we don't do that. QuickBooks, important for you all to know, we do integrate with QuickBooks, and we have yet to do part 2 of our QuickBooks integration, which is a full synchronization, creating invoices, synchronizing invoices, and accounts receivable and all of that. That piece of it's not done, and as a result, with QuickBooks, it does not save a credit card. So each time the agent places an order, they'll have to put in a credit card. Stripe, real easy. It does save credit cards. That's probably my favorite out of all of these. And then there's Square. Square also saves credit cards. I think Square and Stripe are pretty comparable as far as transaction fees go. So something to look at there. Here's where you set your currency. If you're in US dollar, you can pick your currency. Most of you are going to be in USD or CAD. All righty, so let's go to order settings. So at BlueLaVa Media, we have everyone set to, everybody that's new So default payment collection terms, everybody that's new that creates an account on our storefront, which you can see over on BlueLaVaMedia.com, they can go to our order button. Anybody that is a new client that creates an order, we automatically put them to pay to download. Of course, we've got some good customers. You can set this on an individual client basis, but we've got some good customers that we have set to invoice. Of course, we've got some bad eggs that we have set to prepay. And so you can find a lot of help videos on this. We've done other shows before on this, but that's really all I want to point out there. That and our global default policy settings. So if you have a privacy policy that you've had an attorney write up that you want to put in here, if you have your terms of service that you want to put in here, this is where it would go. At BlueLaVa, we've got our basic terms of service in here. And then I do not have a privacy policy for BlueLaVa Media. So you can find a generic privacy policy and put it in. I don't do anything overseas at BlueLaVa. I don't have anything there. So enough on that, you guys. And Jake, feel free to interrupt me if I miss anything critical. But next up is packages and add-ons. So we recently went live with the ability to clone a package, which makes it easier for you to set up. But you've got your packages and add-ons. You're going to want to go through your entire menu, your entire service offering as a company, and you're going to want to turn those into packages and add-ons. We have some webinars on this, storefront webinars and shows, but basically we've turned everything that we do into a primary package with add-ons underneath. So you're going to want to make sure that you set that up. Photographer capabilities. So we've created a list of capabilities at BlueLaVa Media. Almost all of our guys now, except for one, are able to do the, these are really the three things that cost the most, right? You need a microphone, you need a gimbal, you need some, specialized equipment to do the video walkthroughs. So I've only got two guys that are able to do that, and then really only one person on our team can do headshots. So other than that, everybody else is the same. And you set these defaults up, Jake. My photographers do not have the same capabilities, but you set these up on a per photographer basis, right? This is the default that they all get, and then you would turn them on.
So if you say that my photographers do not have all the same capabilities, then the skills below are actually your skills. And then you have to go to the photographer and set up their capabilities.
Okay, all right. So we would go filter this by photographer. We would pick, for example, Levi, and then I would go to photographer capabilities. And Levi is my only guy that can't do interior and headshots. I just purchased a gimbal for Ethan, and so what I can do now is I should be able to go to Ethan and go to photographer capabilities, and he can now do that and that, and I would hit save. So it's great. Wonderful. Okay, so moving along, you guys, hopefully you guys all know if you hit edit on that, it can be a default and you can name it. So it's real easy to add new capabilities in here. Where do you add the new one? Oh, right there. There's the add button. Okay. Scheduling settings. We're going to go over scheduling settings. This is really important for you guys to know. At BlueLaVa, we do not use automatic scheduling settings. So we don't let agents book directly with us through our storefront. They go to our storefront, they click the order now or schedule now. It takes them right to our checkout experience. We have guest checkout turned on. They're going to go through here. They're going to pick their package, pick their add-ons. They are going to then put in their address. They go to additional details, cart, checkout, receipt. Some of the things for you guys to note at BlueLaVa Media, we also don't require payment. And I'll get to that in just a moment, but that really helps us for selling add-ons. So our guys go to that house, they show up, they meet the agent there, not always, but a lot of times. That gives them the opportunity to sell digital twilights, virtual staging, maybe drone, walk through, any of the above. And so then we don't have to go back after the fact and collect more money from the agent. It's all done pay to download or on one invoice on that delivery site. It keeps it real simple. So I'm going to go over a few of the tabs here. We have zone business hours on your scheduling settings. We have company hours, weather settings, and then your scheduling settings. Really, everything comes alive here when you turn on your automatic scheduling settings. This would be for if you want the agent to be able to pick a day or a time. So the first thing that you're going to want to do if you want that, if you're like us, is you're probably going to want to get your service area set up. So I'm going to jump over to service area here. And this is where you create zones. So you're going to, probably pick miles or kilometers. I have mine set to block orders that are too many miles away. You can accept it and then just turn it down over the phone. But you can also block orders that are not located inside a service area or a zone. So there's a couple ways you can work that. So let's take a look at the service area zones that I've created for BlueLaVa. So here's where you add zones. This is our service area. We have 8 zones. Again, we're not utilizing these. I set these up just so that I could show you. This is our coverage area at BlueLaVa Media. These are the 8 zones. So if you were going to rotate yourself, one or more photographers in and out of zones, and you were going to be in, say, down by Cadillac or up by Petoskey on a specific day, you would set the day and times for that particular zone. These are the days I'm in that zone, and then you would hit save. So you can literally set your day and your time, and if the automatic scheduling system is on, it's not going to book in that zone unless you've allowed for that day and time. Company hours, this is just when you're going to be in business, and this is going to be when you're available to work. So you have 9 to 5. 9 to 5, this is what we have at BlueLaVa, but again, we're not using that. While I do have Levi who works Saturdays and Sundays, he's our Sunday pickup man. We do not use the scheduling system, but you would, if you weren't going to work Sunday, for example, you would just turn Sunday off. And you can make these times any time that you like. And you can also allow the scheduling of a sunset or twilight service on any particular day. So if there was a certain day that you didn't want to work late, like on a Friday or Saturday, you didn't want to be stuck at 9 or 10 o'clock in the summer doing a twilight, you could turn that off. Okay.
And then you could also change all those at the photographer level if you had photographers below you. So for example, if you had that one guy that worked on Sundays, you could turn just the Sunday toggle on, and he would only be assigned orders on Sundays.
Yeah, that's perfect. So like I could go to Levi and just turn him on for Saturday and Sunday. So at BlueLaVa, we have Cade answers the phone. He does all the sales, the congratulations on your listings, office presentations, and he's booking the guys as efficiently as possible, and also doing sales and bringing on new customers. So he's what we call our operations admin, delivers all the photos, builds all the projects, interacts with the editing team, and so that is his primary position at BlueLaVa. Some of you might have an admin or an assistant or a virtual assistant that plays a similar role. On the entry page here for scheduling settings, you can turn on your automatic scheduling system. Again, this is going to it's going to create a step here in your storefront that's going to allow for the booking, is really what that does. And you can set your time zone, and you can set your pad time, how much you want to pad your orders in between, and that just adds padding. So the system is going to know if you're at this house and you need to drive to this house, but you might want to allow 10, 15 minutes of pad time in there. So this is an interesting one. This one here, Jake, what is the soonest you want to allow a customer to schedule an order? That's 6 hours lead time. Is that right? If you have it on?
So from whenever they're on your storefront, 6 hours from then is when they would be able to place an order.
Yeah, so that's basically saying, I don't want to get a last minute order. So I have mine set to 6. I know some people have it set for a day. So it's up to you. Again, this is not running for BlueLaVa Media. We have several options on how you want to start your day. This is covered very thoroughly in a training video. I'm not going to go through all these options right now, but there's several different options. So you'd pick 1 through 6 based on a scenario of when you want to get up, when you want to arrive at your first shoot, and really what time you want to be done for the day. So those are there's a scenario here that's gonna fit what you want and how much you want to work on the days that you work, on the days that you have chosen to work. So let's talk a little bit about we talked about service area zones. Let's talk a little bit about travel fees. So the maximum miles that we're willing to go one way, and I believe this is one way, right, Jake?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one way. So like, I'm only allowing somebody to come to the storefront and book something that is within 60 miles, and that was that zone area that you saw earlier.
The travel fee itself is both ways.
Right, exactly. So the travel fees both ways. So what do you do? Anything? What should travel fees be labeled on orders? This is a custom thing that you can have show up on your invoice. We just have it say travel fee. You might put mileage surcharge. You can call it whatever you like. And then the charge, to charge a travel fee based on round trip mileage, charge a fee based on service area. I have that turned off on both. And because we have a operations administrator, so that essentially screens for that and says, hey, we don't cover Alpena for real estate jobs, but we'll go over there for a restaurant photo shoot or a commercial gig. So we leave it open. So let's keep going on storefront order forms. So this is really where you will set up all your storefronts. Right now we have one storefront, which is our real estate for sale. We recently added the ability for you to clone that. So if you wanted to set up one for rentals, for example, you could clone your real estate storefront. And now we have a secondary order form storefront, which is what I would say this is for rentals. Okay, so I don't have that built out yet, but you could see where you could go and you could clone your packages and clone your add-ons and then add them to your storefront. I'm not going to get into that right now. Let's focus 100% on the real estate, which is our primary storefront and what we do at BlueLaVa. So the storefront is enabled. It means that it's on and people can use it. There's a link right here to your storefront. You've got the packages and add-ons that are assigned to that storefront. Couple things to go over. Embed code. You'll notice at BlueLaVa Media, I do not embed the storefront. So I link to it. It opens in a new window. It is not embedded. It's a personal preference. I think you could go either way with that. I really, Jake, what do we see out there? Do we see like 50-50? Is there any percentage of people that do it one way or another?
I think that embedding is less popular.
Yeah, I just open it in a new tab. So the whole checkout experience is in a new tab. You got your storefront name, your internal name. They could both be the same, really. Custom background. Here's where we really can get into some minute details. Okay, so login connectivity settings. So I do not have a login required. So this is a very important choice that you have to make. If you set up your storefront so that they have to log in, your users are going to have to log in. I have what's called guest checkout turned on. Guest checkout is essentially a way for them, as you can see, to just put in first name, last name, email, phone number, and then they go. When they get to the end, they can log in and use an existing credit card, or they can just place their order. Again, at the end, we don't let them check out at BlueLaVa Media. We force all of our customers to check out through the delivery page, delivery site. What that lets us do is upsell. It lets us also just not have to do 2 invoices, you know, if they do order anything else. So we're not chasing after a second invoice after the order's completed. Another good benefit to that, you guys, is get this guest checkout mentality, is when you go to your orders, let me go here and go to my orders. Every now and again, you're going to get an agent that's going to come by your storefront. They're going to maybe be in a listing presentation. They'll start placing an order. They'll stop. They'll be on their computer. They'll get delayed. They'll stop. Someplace during the order placement process, and you'll get, I'll see if I can find one. You'll get what's called, you'll visit your orders page, and you'll see that you have an abandoned order. That means an agent came by and they started placing an order and then they left. Maybe they wanted to know pricing. Maybe they wanted to know availability. Maybe they wanted to know if you offered a certain product or service. They might have been in the middle of a listing presentation. There's a myriad of reasons why they might do that. But because I'm capturing their information right here in the very beginning, I am able to look through my orders and look for abandoned ones on a daily basis. I can't find one. Here's one. Okay, this is a good example. Michael Sims, and this is a situation where we had a tire kicker looking at pricing, comparing us, but it's an opportunity for Cade to pick up the phone and call and say hello. If you have your shopping cart set up products first, so let's go back to that. So you get what I'm saying. You're going to see that this person came by. Here's their name, here's their email, their phone number. You can actually call them and finalize the sale over the phone, or find out why they left at the very least, right? So let's talk through how to set that up. Enable account registration. That allows them to register off your storefront. Enable login with email and password. So everybody can log in with my system by using the sign in button. They can sign in right here. They can register. So by me having this on, this allows, Jake, tell me if I'm wrong, the enable account registration. So if they're brand new to BlueLaVa Media and I have this off, it'll block them. They won't be able to create an account.
There will be no option. When you click that sign in button, there will be no sign in available.
Got it.
They could, if you turn that off but keep other things on, there might be the option for like the one-use password.
Got it. Okay. Enable
those off too.
Yep, enable password recovery. I would say for most people, all this stuff would be on. So enable account link in the menu. This here, enable account link in the menu. Once an agent is logged in, they could click over here to go to their account, and that would take them into your client portal. Am I saying that right, Jake?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Color settings, basic stuff here. Your embed settings, enable logout on embed link. That just lets them log out. Enable copyright section on embed. Those are just preferences. So this is where I have my payment collection turned off. Again, I am putting new customers on pay to download. My trusted customers are on invoice. I'm bringing in the order. I'm letting my sales team that's out there on location do as much upselling as possible. We're delivering, and it's pay to download or invoice based on the customer. There's only one invoice that gets paid at the very end. Enable payment collection. This essentially stops their ability to make a payment at the end. So that's going to be of storefront only. Thank you, Jake. Yeah. So Package settings allow only one package to be selected. I'm a big one on this. When you go to select a package from BlueLaVa, I'm not letting you buy a deluxe and a full house because you're only supposed to choose one, and then you choose your add-ons after that. So I have preferred photographer turned on so people can pick their favorite photographer. Enable large package thumbnails. I use that at BlueLaVa too. Policy settings, I'm going to skip right over, but you can have your terms of service and your policies pop up. If you want them to pop up during the checkout process, you can do that. Notice that PayPal is not supported on that. Order steps. So this is really important. So I put my customer information first, but I can drag this and I can put it in any order that I want. If I want packages first, I am not going to know if I have a tire kicker that wants to look at my prices. Well, prices are on my website for one, okay? And I believe wholeheartedly that all of you should put your pricing on your website, okay? So I don't get a bunch of tire kickers looking at my pricing because I put my pricing right on my website, okay? All of these buttons lead to my storefront. Real simple. They put in their information and they check out. So I grab customer information. I'm going to get the most number of leads. That's how I look at it. It may not be as easy on the customer because if they don't log in, it's not going to grab their credit card on file. So there are trade-offs, but I have had no complaints because my checkout experience happens at the very end with delivery site. So that's probably why I don't get anybody that says, oh, I have to keep putting in my credit card. So think about all those things. For BlueLaVa Media, this all lines up real nicely for how we're doing business, and it may not be a perfect blueprint for you. I have address, third, additional details is after that, followed by cart and checkout. So that's a snapshot. You can take that if you want. And then we've got the support message. So the support message is essentially if you need some help, if you're looking for a rental or commercial, or you have a local business you want us to shoot, please call us. Don't place an order on our real estate for sale page.
I'll use the number that's right above you.
Yeah, good point. Awesome. Final up, we've got tax settings. I'm not going to go into this a lot, but you've got, in Michigan, it doesn't apply. So there are some places where the tax is applied to a service, even a digital service, which I'm sorry if you have to go through that. It could hit us at any time in Michigan. I would not be surprised, but the system is set up. It is going to round. You can set up different tax rate zones. If you operate in, for example, 2 states, you can set up different zones. Sometimes different counties have different zones, so you can set your zones up. You can set up your categories, so you can add a tax category. And then finally, you can have your general tax settings, enable automatic tax system. And I believe most people have it rounded at the nearest penny, always rounded the nearest penny. So you can set that up. You can round down, you can round up, or you can round to the nearest. So that's just a setting. Explaining this one has to do with your discounts. So some states are going to say if you are running a discount, you need to tax the full amount before the discount. Most of you are going to tax the discounted amount and not the original amount. So talk to your accountant about that. I believe if you're doing discount codes, 99% of you are going to be able to use the discounted subtotal. From what I read, there are some instances where if you're running a discount and say you're getting a kickback maybe from the broker, maybe the broker's paying the rest of the fee, okay? The agent is getting 10% off, but the broker is kicking in that other 10%. So you need to tax on the full amount. So Hopefully that makes sense to you. Again, most of your scenarios are going to be, you're just going to tax the discounted amount. That's a wrap. Jake, what did I forget here on the scheduling and booking system, BlueLaVa settings? Anything?
You didn't go over the fact that you can customize the text on every page on the storefront, but
Where's
I
that
think
at?
that might be about it. When you were changing which part goes where, the bottom.
Right down here, yeah.
So if you press the arrow on the left of customer information,
yeah.
you could modify the text on that page and so forth and so forth.
That's amazing. I haven't even played with that, so I'm just going to leave that. That's awesome. Very cool. Well, I hope this helps. I hope you all have an opportunity to get some good questions. Make sure you book a power session if you need some help with any of this stuff. There are a lot of individual training modules on all these pieces as we've put them together, but those are the BlueLaVa media settings. I hope that a lot of this is helpful and beneficial to you. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, remember everybody, if you love what you do, it's not a job. Have a great day.